If you're struggling to set up your session for recording vocals in your DAW, then I got you covered. I'm going to show you how to do it, show you how I do it, and you'll be right to go and record some vocals. My name is Nick Roller. I'm a producer and mixing engineer from Australia. I hope you're doing well today. I don't want to waste your time, so let's just get into it. So I'm using Studio One. I will provide a free template. This is the most recent version of Studio One, Studio One 6, I think. So if you use Studio One, you can get access to what I'm about to create. If you don't use Studio One, this template is pretty easy to make. It's not particularly challenging, so just make it along as we go. So I record a lot of vocals. I work on a lot of vocals, whether that's recorded vocals that I've done myself with artists here or people have sent me stuff. So I do spend a lot of time doing this, and I feel like I'm pretty good at what I do with vocals. So the way that I'm going to make it, essentially, so mono or stereo, it depends on what your mic is. My vocal mic is a stereo mic, which is kind of silly, but most people will have a mono mic, so that's what I'm going to do for you. Just quickly, when you import this, if you import this session, it may or may not have the routing, so just make sure that if you're using Studio One, you expand it and then pick the right mic, and if it's not there, go to your input output and just kind of make sure the inputs all line up. If you're using your own DAW, you can figure it out. The way that I tend to do vocals these days is, well, if I'm recording it, I'll do a warm-up take, and then I will go, I just duplicate it a few times. There's an easier way to do this. So I'll do a warm-up run, and it also just depends how you're doing it, right? So the way that I tend to work is I'll have all of the stems underneath. So, kick, snare, bass, guitar, etc. If you're doing it with a stereo beat, so just one instrumental, that's completely fine as well. I just like to have the vocals at the top and then the instrumental, whether that's stems or beat, beneath it. So just drag that stuff in, and then I'll have warm-up, verse, chorus, bridge. And I always have my vocals white, just because that's my color code. And basically, we'll do a run through with just the warm-up. That might be 1 to 3 takes just to get the singer ready. So if you're recording yourself, just do a few to kind of get your voice warmed up. And then I tend to, not always, but I tend to do section by section. So I'll start off with the verse and I'll record the verse through, and then I'll probably generally go to the other verse because I want to keep a consistent tone. Sometimes if I want this kind of feeling of continuity through the song, so the first verse happens, we go then into the chorus, the singer's voice gets a little bit more worn down, we get to the second verse, it kind of has this emotional through line. Sometimes we do that, sometimes not. It doesn't really matter, it's kind of a case by case thing. But I'll do the verse, and then I'll do the chorus, and I have the chorus on a separate channel, and then I have the bridge. Now, where it can get kind of, again, case by case, is sometimes I'll bus things. So I might have all of the processing on the verse, the chorus, the bridge individually, or I might then bus them all together and have a vocal bus, and then all of the processing is just on that single bus. This is just to save processing, so I'm not smashing my computer with unnecessary CPU damage. Again, it's kind of case by case. I'm going to leave it off for this example here. It's pretty easy to do. Now, obviously, some songs might have, a pre-chorus. Some songs might have a chorus B part. So if you've got 2 overlapping vocals, you might want chorus A, chorus B, so that they can be simultaneous. That's kind of, up to you. You might have a post-chorus. The more channels you have, it can get confusing. What you do there is really kind of up to you, in my opinion. I would probably keep it on the simpler side. So the verse, generally kind of quiet or quieter if it's going to be a loud and quiet part. The chorus, I would probably just keep the post-chorus part on the chorus, and unless you've got overlapping parts, just keep it all on one channel and just do a bunch of takes through. If there's a post-chorus part that gets a little bit different with effects and processing, have that. Bridge, I would keep different. And it just makes kind of your life a little bit easier when you're navigating. So keep it simple. And maybe I'll start with all these muted just for your sake. Now, the other option is you might just do run-throughs of the song, in which case I would just have vocal. I don't know why I capitalize my lead vocals, and I just do, again, for just ease of sort of looking at the screen and knowing what's happening. So if you're doing just run-throughs, I'd do a few warm-ups, and then I would do generally 5 takes. So that is kind of where I tend to hover. So if I'm doing verse, chorus, bridge, part by part, I'll do like 5 of the verse, 5 of the chorus, 5 of the bridge, etc. Obviously, if we don't get it, I'll do more. But I find 5 is like, it gives me a lot of options to choose words when I'm comping. And same with the vocal, I would just do 5 run-throughs of the whole song. Give them a break in between the takes so that they can like catch their breath and maybe have some water and stuff. Or if you're singing yourself, that is how I would structure it if you're doing full takes of the song. And which one's better? Again, case by case. Some people prefer doing part by part, and some songs really need to be done part by part. Some people prefer to just sing the whole song so you get that emotional flow of the entire track. So completely up to you there. So if that's the case, just delete chorus and bridge and just have one vocal. So now when we get into backing vocals, so we've recorded the leads, we've done 5 takes each, and then we're ready to do some harmonies. Now, the way that I like to do backing vocals is I like to do it in stereo pairs. So BV1L will be on the left side, and then BV1R will be on the right side. And I'll just pan these, so hard panning. And the way that I tend to structure this is I'll do kind of like 2 to 3 takes, generally 2, because by this point the singer's pretty warmed up. So we'll do 2 takes on the left side, 2 takes on the right side, just gives me the option to choose. Obviously, in any of these cases, if we don't get it in those 2 takes, we'll do more takes until we get it. But that's kind of where I'm shooting for. And then, I'll just kind of keep doing this as I need it to write. I try to distinguish a few things here. BV1L, BV1R, those tend to be harmonies. I will also tend to do, if it calls for it, I'll do double left and double right. So this might be the chorus double, like tends to be choruses that I do doubles for when I'm recording. That's just how I like things to sound. But I'll have double left, double right, really clear, and then backing vocals going through. Obviously the panning, I tend to do hard panning, but if it's a massive stack of things, I might go, 2 are really hard left, hard right, 2 are kind of more centered, then 2 are even more centered. And you know what, let's do that for this, for the sake of this. We'll go left 50, right 50, and then left 25, right 25. This will just give you a bit of a spread sonically, and I think that'll sound good. And then I might also do a harmony run, or let's say BV run. So basically BV run would actually be before a lot of these things. If the singer hasn't figured out their backing vocals, we'll just run the whole song, and then anything that's cool, we'll dive into it, and then we'll record it in the respective backing vocal part. The next thing is I might have a few ad-libs. Ad-lib 1, ad-lib 2. I don't tend to do stereo pairs for ad-libs because they're generally pretty unique and just like little moments that happen here and there, and I'll process them pretty spaced out generally, like lots of reverb, lots of delay. I find that tends to work pretty well. Some songs have more backing vocals, some songs have less backing vocals. That is just based on the song. Some have no backing vocals. Processing wise, I tend to have pretty similar processing for the lead vocals. The lead vocals will generally have V verb, so vocal verb, and V delay, vocal delay. The backing vocals, except for the ad libs, tend to have BV verb. Sometimes they'll have BV delay. I'll just leave it on BV verb. You can make that choice yourself. The bridge might have a slightly different processing, and the verse might not have delay, so let's just remove that. So kind of routing wise, we'll have verse with just reverb, chorus and bridge with reverb and delay, and then whatever reverb plugin, whatever delay plugin that you have and you like. And then all of the doubles are going to be processed pretty similar with just a BV verb. And the ad libs, I probably have the effects on the channels, depending on what I'm trying to achieve, but more often than not, I'll have the ad-libs on individual channels, and the ad-libs are centered, or they're, panned wherever, but kind of as a starting point, I'd center them. And kind of this looks like how my channels would look, and I record them to take. So if I record a few times, so if I record here and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I record again over it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I get layers, so I can kind of go through and comp it as I want. I find that's a really helpful way to do things. If you're using Studio One, to be able to actually do that, to record to layers, you go to the bottom, find this little cog, and then just go record mode, takes to layers, and instrument loop record takes. That is a really great way to do it. I hope this has been helpful. This is, as I say, how I do it. So Other people might be different. I think this is a pretty good way to do it. I really like stereo pairs with my backings. I feel like it really fills up the space, and keeping it really organized, especially like if you're going to send this to somebody, this is a really good way to send it. It's really clear. Warm up, oh, you don't send the warm up, but verse, chorus, bridge, any other main parts. I like doing the leads with capitals and then making sure that they're all on the same thing. So chorus 1, 2, 3 are on the same chorus file. You don't want to have multiple choruses with the same processing. That's kind of silly. I'll just be snapping them all onto the same channel if you send them to me and they're not split up. So like save me the work, or whoever you're working with. Double left, double right. That's clear. BV1L, BV1R. They're the same backing vocals but stereo pairs. 2L, 2R, blah, blah, blah. Adlib 1, Adlib 2. Don't send the BV run. That's just to get ideas down. And yeah, if you follow this, that should be a pretty clean session. Hopefully it'll make your life easier, and hopefully anyone you work with will also be happy. You can get this linked below. Just sign up your email and your name, and you'll be signed up to the Producer Place newsletter, which is a generally weekly newsletter of tips and tricks that I'm kind of doing every week. And yeah, if you enjoyed and found this helpful, hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next video. Goodbye.